But when you look at this consecutively over the last, I think, 6 days prior to yesterday, we had a positive closing for the index. We've managed to scale past about 25,000 mark. I strongly believe that that's a very big, breakout point for the index, at least over the very near term. And looking at the change of stance, and that I believe is the key for the markets holding on to a certain, degree of levels in terms of price trend. Where you've seen the call writers changing their stance to become put writers. 25,000 would therefore act as a strong support. And I think yesterday also we saw mild traces of that. The index tried to just about come closer to the 25,000 mark, 25,050 levels on the spot basis. And we saw the buying coming back into individual stocks. There was a point where even large cap names like Reliance, etc., at the fag end of the market, started to participate. So maybe I think the markets are just about showing signs that the underperforming sectors, stocks, etc., which have been huge underperformers over the last 10-12 weeks, the market selling, they could start to make a turnaround. And when that happens, you would eventually see the index gaining back momentum. So maybe a couple of days of pause for the index, just for trying to digest the gains over the last 6-8 days. And I think once that happens, we should be good for the breakout on the upside, assuming there is no negative news flow across the globe.
All right, let's watch out for that. That's the view coming in on the index. But Kunal, other than that, help us with your stock calls for today. Which are the stocks that you're eyeing?
Yeah, so I'll focus on differentiated names. GAIL is something which I would recommend at current levels. It's a classical breakout. When you look at this chart on the daily time frame, the stock has formed an inverted head and shoulder pattern breakout. It's still trading below its critical moving averages, but I believe that with the formation of this pattern, the spotting of RSI divergence, which is also there on the daily charts, I believe that the stock should do pretty well for itself over the near term. So we'd look at 188 as a target for the stock, and stop loss could be kept at 176. PNB, and I actually believe that many of the PSU banking stocks are good to go for a second leg of a short-term breakout. You saw, for the last couple of days, these stocks consolidating into a very tight band, but I believe that the breakout should take these stocks back towards at least a multi-week swing high. So we'd look at PNB in that prospect with a target of 115, stop loss at 105.
Okay, so